Hi there. In this video, we will continue on our AP Pre-Calculus math subject. We are still on topic 1.1 in Unit 1, which is titled by Change in Tandem, and we still need to cover some prerequisite knowledge. So far, and if you follow the exact order of my videos, so far we have seen what a set of ordered pairs, what a relation is. We then use that relation to define a function as a special case of a relation. And now, if you remember, we've said that in a function, we basically have a connection between two sets, A and B, and we connect numbers, input values to output values. The question on this video will be the following. Is this relation, is this connection among numbers done in a randomly way? Do we simply take input values and we connect them to random output ones? No. The question is clearly a no. Each function follows its own, you want to say it rule, you want to say it pattern. I prefer to go by set of instructions, which is usually notated by a letter. It could be, it's most likely that it should be F, but it could be G, H, any letter. We express all this process as from X to Y through F, or even as F of X equals Y. In the university, we used to go by the first one, from X, arrow Y, under the rule of F. Mostly, however, in schools, we see it as F of X equals Y. And this is not a bad thing necessarily, because this also shows that X is the input value and the entire F of X, all of it, which is the same as Y, is the output value. That's the output value. Now, another name for the input and the output values is the independent and dependent. It is independent because the input values, their values are randomly assigned. We can set them up. Let the input value 1, the input value 3, 10, square root of 2. But the output values cannot be randomly assigned as well. Each output value is the one corresponding to the given input value after we have applied that rule, that set of instructions we just said. And this set of instructions is basically the function notation. So when we see something like f of x equals, let's say, x squared plus 1, from here, we should know that all the input values are of the form x. The output value, however, is the y, or other else known as f of x, or x squared plus 1. And this means that if we are given the x, in order to find the corresponding y value, I should take that x, raise that to the power of 2, and then add 1. So if I'm given number 1, I should do 1 squared plus 1, which is 2. If I'm given number 2, I should do 2 squared plus 1, which is 5. If I'm given number negative 10, I should do negative 10 squared plus 1 equals 101. And by acknowledging that math is actually a language of symbols, not necessarily numbers, whatever I am given, even that cloud, I would still have to follow the same set of instructions. I would have to get that, raise that to the power of 2, and then add 1. So we need to understand that in a function, the way the input and the output values are connected is provided by the function's notation. F of x equals something. This means that x is the input value, the entire thing is the output value, and how will I calculate the output values by following these instructions? Let's work together some examples to get used to it. Given the function f of x equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 5, find f of 2. Let's see what we can get from this. First of all, the input value is the x. The output value, which is the y, another naming for the y is the f of x, and this is provided by 3x squared minus 2x plus 5. This means that whenever I am given an input value, in order to calculate the corresponding y value, I should take that input value, raise that to the power of 2, multiply that by 3, then subtract from that result the 2 times that number plus 5. Okay. Thankfully, we don't have to explain in words. We don't have to do that verbally in a question. But we should always keep that in mind, that this is actually the set of instructions with regards to the operations that we need to do. So f of 2 means what is the output value when the input is 2 and I am following the instruction F, will simply do operations. F of 2 is 3 times 2 squared minus 2 times 2 plus 5. 3 times 4 minus 4 plus 5. 12 minus 4 plus 5. 8 plus 5 equals 13. So f of 2, in other words, the corresponding output value when the input is 2 is the value of 13. Let's move to another one. This time, the naming has simply changed. Instead of having a set of instructions going by the name F, we have a set of instructions going by the name G. But the concept remains the same. From the input values, I should go to the output values. But we've said that in order to show this dependence between them, instead of y, I can simply write that as g of x. So we know that from x, I should go to the square root of 6 minus x. Verbally, this means that every time I am given a number, in order to find the corresponding output value, I should do 6 minus that number and then put that result under a square root. So if I'm given number 2, I should do 6 minus 2, put that under a square root, and I'm done. Square root of 4 should be equal to 2, which means that g of 2 is equal to 2. Now look at example number 9. Here we have a piecewise function. In a piecewise function, we don't have only one set of instructions. We have more depending on the given input value. Now, let's see. We were told that h of x should be 3x minus 5 when x is less than 5, and 2x squared minus x plus 2 when x is greater than 5. Here we have two sets of instructions. The first set says that if you are given a number which is less than 5, x smaller than 5, to find the corresponding output, follow the instruction 3x minus 5. So in this case, h of 0, 0 is the input value, and it is less than 5. This means that in this case, I should follow that specific set of instructions. I should multiply 0 by 3 and then subtract 5. So it should be 0 minus 5 is negative 5. On top of that, we were also told that if, however, you are given in the second set, if you are given a number greater than 5, follow the instructions to x squared minus x plus 2. So in the second part of the exercise, where we are told to calculate h of 10, acknowledging that this is the input value and it is greater than 5, this means that I should follow the second given set of instructions. The set of instructions should be provided, and it will be provided by the question. Minus 10 plus 2, 200 minus 10 plus 2, 192. Let's work with some more. Here we are asked to calculate inputs and outputs without having the set of instructions, without knowing the operations that need to be done, but we were given the mapping diagram. What does this mean? We can clearly see that negative 12 is related through f to number 7. This, in another function notation, would be written as f of negative 12 is 7. Negative 6, again through f, is connected to 7. This would also mean that f of negative 6 is 7. Number 2 is connected to 7 again. This also can be written as f of 2 is 7, and so on. Okay, so even when we don't actually have the set of instructions, the functions notation, in order to find the output, the corresponding output values, knowing the mapping diagram would still be fine. Lastly, we are asked to find output values for given input values when we don't have a function notation, we don't have a set of instructions. That means we don't have the mapping diagram, but we were given the x and y values through a table. Let's see. G of 0 means what is the output when input x is 0. We can see that when x is 0, y, the output is, let's put them there, input and output, the output is 5. So g of 0 is 5. G of 4 would mean what is the output when input is 4. The input is 4. Be careful not to be tricked in this case. This is the input of 4. The output is clearly equal to 5 again. G of 4 is 5. And that's all. From this video, what should we keep? That the way the input and output values are connected is not happening randomly. Each function follows its own set of instructions that is either called by F, by G, by H, whatever. In order, when we are provided an input value, in order to find the corresponding output value, we should either check on the mapping diagram or check in the given table of values, or simply go plug in that input value into the given set of instructions, do the operations carefully, and come up with the result. That would be all. If, however, you have any concerns, any issues, any things that you would like to go over again, please don't be shy. Leave your comment, leave your question below the video. As always, thank you for your time.